Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. Don't forget you can actually find us at growmybag.tv. We've got over 550 our news articles, over 4 or 500 videos. We're actually doing a lot of things over there. You can also subscribe to our mailing list when you get there. So check us out. We'd greatly appreciate your support and efforts. Now, let's get into today's news. What I covered in the Crypto Minute, one of the stories was how a Bitcoiner in a single transaction wound up paying, I hope you're sitting down, $83.6 million. I'm sorry, let me rephrase. 83.6 BTC for a single transaction. That's over $3.1 million. So, not too long ago, I told you about how this happened and F2 pool returned the bulk of the transaction fee. What we're hoping for is that Ant Global will do the same thing, because the fees at that moment were just ridiculous. And I can't believe the person actually, wow, that's a lot. It's fees, it's swings like that make people stop and go, should I be, considering this for, you know, retail transactions? This is why, because you're at the whim right now of the miner to say, yeah, that was exorbitant. Let's return some of that, right? F2 pool did that, but Ant pool doesn't have to. And neither did F2 pool. The miners do not have to, they're not under any obligation whatsoever to return any kind of money like that. That's a windfall because they were doing their job. Now, normally their fee is like, for a block, their fee is about 1.2, somewhere between 1.2 and 1.6 BTC. So great. But obviously that fee is like just exorbitant. I mean, it's not their fault. That's just what the hash rate came out to be at that time. So it is what it is. So we're hoping to see that Antpool will actually come across. And Antpool happens to be, what is it, the largest in Asia in terms of Bitcoin miners. So we'll see how that works out. Now, the CFTC chairman or commissioner for the CFTC, Christy Goldsmith Romero, I'm going to read what she said. There are no pirate ships in U.S. markets. And she also stated that access to U.S. customers is a privilege, not a right. This is true, but she said that as a part of an overall statement, rhetoric, that says that they are going to be going after other exchanges. And they said Binance is just the beginning. And I'm sitting back and I'm looking at this and I'm just going, okay, cool. You're going to go after bad actors. That's fine. Please go after bad actors. But please do a good job at differentiating between bad actors and exchanges that don't know the guardrails because you haven't posted them. You haven't worked with them to create those guardrails. Sound fair? Just saying. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now is, how can these government agencies, because it just wasn't that long ago. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago that I reported that the CFTC is on record. The chairman was actually on record saying, hey, the current regulations on the books don't help us with regard to the cryptoverse. It's not enough. Great. But they're still applying those rules and going after centralized exchanges, no matter where they're domiciled, to affect change. Great. But at the same time, are you also providing those same exchanges on clear definition as to what they need to do to be legal or to become legal? Is that what you're doing? Because if you're not doing that, you're not playing with a fair rule book. And I think that's what we're all looking for, is just for them to come out with a fair, set of guidelines that says, hey, if you do these things, you'll be operating, properly. The other part that I'm looking for is, are they going after these exchanges because they're saying these things are securities without having actually gone after those coins to say those specific coins are securities? By going after exchanges, you're just saying, well, crypto in general are securities. I'd like a little bit more focused and pragmatic approach to things, right? That's just me. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? HTX Global, formerly Hobie Global. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I'm probably not, so I apologize. They experienced a $13.6 million hack that brought them down for 24 hours as a part of a larger hack of $86.6 million of HTX Eco. I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, wow, that's huge. That's big. Frankly, it was a hack against HTX, Tron, right? And what I think was Bittrex. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, wow, um, that's a clear message to Justin's son. And I'm pretty sure that message was received. Um, but after 24 hours, they're finally getting everything back online and everything. But it was against their bridge. That's the HTX Eco chain bridge. So it, it it tells me that we need to be careful about what we're leveraging within the space. Understand the technologies that are in use, the investments that you're making, and the exposure, the risk exposure that you have. Pay attention to those things before you undergo any kind of transactions or anything else. Because the first stage is, well, yeah, I'm going to get into coins. I'm going to purchase some coins. Next stage is you start messing around with bridges and leveraging and degenning and all that stuff. I know that there is a particular YouTuber that gets out there and he's now doing degen transactions, during his streams. And I'm like, on one hand, he's telling you, oh, don't copy my trades and degenning is bad and you shouldn't do that. You should never over leverage and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, for eyeballs, for entertainment, he's still doing this online to show you what's going on. And I'm kind of like, yeah, no, I can tell you rather than blow my money or, increase my risk exposure. That's not going to happen. I got kids. I can't afford to, have a larger risk exposure. Just saying. So yeah, I'm not a person that's going to talk to you about degenning and doing big leverage and all that stuff until I have a handle on exactly everything that's going on, because it is a really fast way to make money and an even faster way to lose money. So pay attention to what you got going on. If you want to do it, go ahead. That's what you want to do. I'm not preaching that right now, and I'm sure is not going to, have you watch me do it. That's insane. Cathie Wood. I was reading a couple of articles this morning, and they said, "Oh, Cathie Wood, is going against what she says in public because she just sold 700,000 shares of GBTC." Once you get past the crazy headline, you start to realize that, ARK Invest, in partnership with 21 Shares, has their own application into the SEC for their own Bitcoin spot ETF. So it would make sense that they're going to start shedding GBTC shares because they're going to leverage that money for something else, which they have been doing for a while. So I don't understand why there's, such big, speculation and headline. It's, oh, she's contradicting what she said. She's not contradicting what she said. She stands behind what she's saying with regard to Bitcoin, and she's acting on it. It's just that if I know that I'm about to have my own spot ETF, my own Bitcoin spot ETF, then why would I buy into theirs? I can take this time to build up. Plus, depending on when she bought those 700,000 shares, she could be deep in the black because Bitcoin has gone up. So now that Bitcoin's up, she sells 700,000 shares. Now she's got a lot of money where they can actually go do something else. I don't know. I think that's profit taking and leveraging assets properly. Go Cathie Wood and team is what I would say. Now, JP Morgan says, hey, we should be paying attention to when Grayscale is allowed to flip from a trust over to a spot ETF. Because once it flips over to a spot ETF, they're expecting things to shoot up. And that's when you can see a $2.7 billion outflow or in outflows from GBTC, which would make sense, right? Because there becomes an arbitrage. You can get in now and buy extremely low because buying GBTC gives you an exposure to Bitcoin at a discount, and everybody knows it, right? And then once they flip over to, a spot ETF, that price then shoots up, that discount goes away, and now everything is equal. Boom. Now you've just made money on that arbitrage. So yeah, why wouldn't you be taking profit at that time? So they're expecting, in now, pile in now, wait for it to happen, take your profits. Kind of makes sense. Very much would make sense. Anyway, GrowMyBag.tv is up and running. We've got over 500 regular articles, we've got over 500 videos, and more content coming every day. Every day. You can buy into a subscription where you can receive email updates as well as have access to articles, exclusive articles that we create that won't be released in general. So that's kind of cool. We've got a lot of things going on at growmybag.tv. It's only $12 a year to gain access to certain content and to have access to the whole social media platform. That's right, the whole social media platform, because that's what it is. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope to see you there. Join the conversation. Let me know what we could all be doing better to make your experience all the more delightful and informative. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.